Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and it's been a little bit since we've taken a tour behind the scenes of what's going on at the greenhouse. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you the planting process and how that all works. Annuals are coming in this week, hopefully today. And so it'll be fun to watch that nice, beautiful, colorful Proven Winners truck roll in the parking lot. But before it does, I'm going to go ahead and just show you how the different steps work before the plants actually get planted. This is a PS little note for those of you who are local. Look what we've got here. These are the Aqua Pots. So we have 3 pallets and we're supposed to be getting another 2 or 3 more. So definitely with Aqua Pots, we wanted to get those in early because last year we sold out, and we want to be able to bring you more selection and more variety this year. So right now we've got these beautiful Aqua Pots. This one here, it's got this really nice, it's kind of a whitewashed over that terracotta, kind of a vining look. Really pretty. I've got one of those at my house. We also have this palette here. It's got some really nice kind of, again, whitewashed, but it's vertical and a horizontal stripe, kind of depending on which pot you're looking at. And then these really beautiful cobalt blue pots too that have that vertical and horizontal stripe on it. So we're really excited for the Aqua Pots. If you haven't had a chance to try any of these in your garden yet, we have several around the landscape here as well as at home. And the nice thing with the Aqua Pots is they're a self-watering planter. So if you're somebody that goes on vacation, or maybe you have a place somewhere else that you like to have flowers, these you can usually go about a week between needing to refill them. So they're just kind of a nice plant saver. Maybe too, you're somebody that just doesn't like to water all the time. So this usually gets you about 5 to 7 days between needing to refill them and keeping your plants look gorgeous. Let's head on back to the back of the greenhouse so we can see Reese is really checking out the Aqua Pots, and I think she approves. But let's see what's going on in the back of the greenhouse right now. Before we head back to the greenhouse, we're just going to take a look here out the window, and you can see it's a pretty blustery day here at Garden Crossings. The snow has been going on pretty much all day. The cars are kind of covered with snow. And so yeah, it's really, let's get back to the back of the greenhouses where things are a little bit cheerier. There's plants, there's soil, and just a little bit of sign that says spring will be here before we know it. So a lot of planting is going to be going on this week, and one of the first steps in the process of our planting is loading all of the pots onto our sticker machine, where they get sent down a conveyor belt, and then this machine applies a sticker to each and every plant. So one thing that's, I think, fairly unique here at Garden Crossings is that every single pot gets its unique barcode label put on it. So at the end of the day, we know exactly how many of every variety is sold. Part of the reason why that has to happen is with the online mail order side of things, we need to have a very tight inventory control system. So we know when we sell so many bubble gum, Vista bubble gums, we know how many are left. And our inventory works not only for our mail order side, but also in our retail garden center. So they all pull from the same inventory. So we need to know what's coming and going, and being very precise with each and every single variety. So now that the sticker has been placed on the pot, they're kind of counting as they're putting them in the trays. And then they also know like how many trays they need per variety. So that's kind of a double check for them as to where they're at before the stickers are going to switch to the next variety. So let's take a little bit closer look here at this sticker machine and how it's working. So these racks of pots and trays, these have all been stickered, and these are waiting to head out to our flat filling machine. So once they head out to the flat filling machine, they're going to get filled with soil. And another thing that's put on all these carts is kind of a, let's call it a license plate per se, that tells us which greenhouse they have to go into. So this is telling us it's going into a cool greenhouse, location 23. This rack here says it's going into a cool greenhouse, location 20. So the plants are kind of divided out by cool and by warm. because different varieties, these are primarily annuals that are getting planted up right now, but different varieties need to be grown at different climates. Some can handle a little bit more of a cooling growing environment, where others need it a little bit warmer. So as we walk over to the flat filling machine, oh my goodness, here is a whole bunch of more pots that are waiting to be filled by the flat filler. So the sticker machine has been working pretty busily today. Busily, is that a word? Probably it's a Heidi word. The sticker machine has been very busy today getting all of these pots stickered up. So these are going to head over to the flat filler. So let's take a walk over to the flat filler and see how that is working today. Well, I'm seeing more carts full of pots that are all stickered. So the old flat filler is really going to get a workout. So here are some of the pots that have already been filled by the flat filler. And let's go in and take a look. You can see on this particular one, if you look at that sticker there, it looks like it's Angelonia, one of the Cascade varieties. So these are going to head out to the greenhouse, where tomorrow the plants will get put into them. We're waiting for our shipment from 4-Star to come in today. So we're just kind of getting everything ready to rock and roll. That way once the plants come in, they're just going to get stuck and set down out in the greenhouses. So this here is the flat filling machine. And we're going to actually kind of head to the other side of it and kind of talk about it in the order of how it goes. So they have the empty pots here, and they are fed onto this conveyor belt, in which the flat filler then puts soil into the pot, like so. So it just kind of drops the soil in, and then as it spits out the other end, we're going to go ahead and pack that soil in nice and tight. Because one thing here that we feel is important is when we sell a pot, we want to make for sure that that pot is full of soil. Some greenhouses might have a 1/2 inch or 1 inch gap, but we like to have our soil all the way to the top of the plant, because we feel that that just gives that plant that much more room to root down and grow into a nicer, fuller plant. So you can see how it really pours a ton of soil on there, and we're just packing it in there nice and tight. That way when we plant it, there won't be any settling of dirt, because it's already been packed nice and tight. That little brush roller there, that's supposed to roll off some of the excess, but we have the brush set kind of high right now because we want to make for sure that they have enough soil that they can pack it in. And then any extra soil kind of drops back either into the hopper or into this blue catch barrel here, which then we can recycle it back into the hopper to get put back into the next round of pots. And then here she is setting them on the shipping cart. And then, like I said, these are going to head back out into the greenhouses tomorrow, where they're going to then get planted up with annuals. So you may wonder, how does the soil come when it arrives at garden crossings? So they come in these big, huge bags on pallets, and I can't even tell you, this is about 5 deep by 15 or 20 bags. And this is just in one area of the greenhouse. So we have another area that we have about twice as many bags of soil. And again, as I was mentioning earlier about taking things early because of supply and demand, we were told there was going to be a soil shortage this year. So we took all of our soil in the fall, so that way we would be assured to have it come spring. And we're definitely glad that we did that. Another issue for supply and the supply chain this year has been pots. So, you know, why would you think that pots would be an issue? But plastic and pots have definitely been a shortage issue this year. So we were kind of joking earlier that we may need to be planting our plants into red Solo cups, but thank goodness that's not the case. That's just awful to even have to think about that. But with a pot shortage this year, I'm sure there's going to be some growers that are going to have to come up with some unique means of what they're going to plant their plants into. So these are all stickered, and we have pallets of trays and pallets of pots. So we're going to take a walk past those right now. Looks like these are all trays. And then these brown boxes here are all boxes of pots. So this is just a fraction of the pots and trays that we're gonna need for this year. This is just our first shipment. We've got a couple more shipments coming in. And but this is what we needed to get started. And so we're just really thankful that these came in on time. Every week that something gets delayed puts a delay on the production of the plants, because obviously, you know, we know annuals take X amount of weeks to finish, perennials takes X amount of weeks to finish. And if we don't have the pots to plant them with in time, that's putting back our finish dates later in the season. So right now everything is on schedule, and we are thrilled about that, and just we continue to hope that everything does come in as it's supposed to, with this crazy season, and by season I mean seasons, that we're all in this year. So now we're just going to wait for that 4-star truck to roll in and get those annuals unpacked. So today's a new day. The annuals didn't come in yesterday, so we're still waiting for them. So we had some perennials yet that we need to plant. So as soon as I headed out into these greenhouses, I could smell something. I just wasn't sure what it was. And now that I see what they're planting, it was definitely the Monarda or bee balm that I was smelling. So basically right now they're just grabbing all those pre-filled pots and plugging the pots with the Monarda. So you can see she has her side that she's doing, the ones closest to her. And then as they go down the line, the next scale is plugging her side. And then next they're going to get tagged, and then they get set down on the floor. So when we are planting and setting down the perennials here in the greenhouse, we're very purposeful about where they're going and the different varieties that they're planted with. So we want to make for sure that the plants have similar characteristics in the sense of needing the same amount of watering. So we don't want to put plants that are really thirsty next to plants that are more of a drought tolerant variety. So definitely there is a system when laying the perennials out, and it's true of the annuals as well when we're setting them down here in the greenhouses. So while we're waiting for the annuals to come in, we have all the hanging baskets and the planters all pre-filled and ready to go. That way, once the Proven Winner annuals get here, we can rock and roll and get these guys all planted out. And then they're going to actually get hung up here in the ceiling in the greenhouse. So that way they can have a lot of heat up there and grow into beautiful hanging baskets. We did receive this weekend a small shipment of tropicals and ferns. So this will get us started anyhow on planting up the hanging baskets. So these annuals here are the Kimberley Ferns. These are really nice sized plugs. So I'm really happy with the specimens that they sent us. And these should fill out the hanging baskets fairly quickly. So we'll use these Kimberley Ferns as a mono planter with just the fern, but we'll also mix in some annuals like begonias with them to create kind of a combination planter using the fern. It just gives kind of a neat looking look to a hanging basket. We also received some Diplodynia and Mandevilla in. These came in from Florida. We were a little concerned with that ice storm this past week, but they arrived. And they arrived in nice shape, so that's always encouraging, because especially this time of year, you know, when you order plants in, if they don't come in good condition, there's a good chance you're not going to get any more, because the supplier probably has already sold out of the plants that they ship to you. So this is really good. I wanted to show you the flower. This is the Diplodinia Coral, which was a new variety a couple years for us. It's really a beautiful Diplodinia. So how we do this is we'll grab the bunch of plugs and just set them on top of the pot to start with. We kind of plant, these are a 10-inch pot, so these get planted as 3 plugs per container, and we'll just set them out in kind of a triangle pattern as we plant them. So you can see here she's got them set out as a triangle, and then she'll get them planted into the pot like so. So these are heat-loving annuals. So these will go into a greenhouse that is a lot warmer than maybe some of the hanging baskets have petunias and stuff in it. They'll go in a little bit more of a cooler greenhouse. And again, it's because all the different plants have different areas that they like to be grown in. So at least we were able to get a little bit done today with the annual planting. Still waiting on the truck for the 4-star proven winner annuals. So it's exciting. The semi just rolled in. And it's actually not even a semi, it's a box truck. So we'll see how much of this box truck is ours. There's a pretty good chance that at least half of this truck, if not more, has our plugs and our liners on it. So it's pretty exciting. One thing with proven winners, this is coming from 4-Star Greenhouse, which is over in Carlton, Michigan. One thing that's really cool is they always roll in with like beautiful trucks. So here you can see this beautiful box truck lined with beautiful proven winner annuals. #1 plant brand, of course, is proven winners. Guys are getting ready. They're going to unload this truck. So we're going to watch as they unload this truck and just see all the beautiful plants that will be unloading and planting up today. That will soon be in your gardens. Pretty little things are about to come out of this truck. It's always better too when you get plants and the sun shining. It just makes everything just feel so much better. So we just took a peek inside. The truck is about half full. So we'll do, I believe we have 5 different rounds of planting that we're going to do this spring. About every 2 weeks or so, every 10 days or so, we get a new shipment of plants in. So this is really the first shipment of the season. So this is always the most exciting. But the plants that are coming off this truck today are going to be for our hanging baskets, our large planters, as well as a lot of the gallon material, like the grasses, the cypress grass, prince tut, baby tut, just to name a few. We're also going to have, obviously, you know, like the petunias and stuff that are going to come out as well. But what we do is when we're planting, we kind of cycle plant, so that way everything isn't ready all at the same time. Obviously, we don't need everything ready March 28, our first ship date of the year, and our garden center doesn't open until mid-April. Here in Michigan, really, people don't start planting until the end of April. So we want to make for sure our stuff is always fresh, and to do that, we plant, like I said, every 2 weeks or so. So many pretty little things. Oh, and there's color too. Oh my gosh, the geraniums are gorgeous. Super bells in flower. Rod's giving them a little check out here. Nice size plant material too. Really nice and big. Begonias, petunias. Sweet potato vine. Better get those buggers inside. They don't like the cold. Fireworks grass. Skyrocket grass. So the driver was saying this is his first day today. How exciting it must be to deliver all this happiness to greenhouses across Michigan. So they shut the door to the greenhouses to keep the heat in. He's going in for another load. Coffee cups, the lustrous, the elephant ears, Pennisetum vertigo, Coffee twist. Lobelia. More begonias. Let's head inside and see what's going on inside. All right, so we're gonna go walk and see where they took the plants to. Definitely heading to one of the warmer areas in the greenhouse. All these pots waiting to get filled with soil. And there's a ton of pots that are already filled with soil. So once these all get checked in and verified that we have the varieties that are on our list. Hey, Rod. We'll be able to start knocking it out and getting these things planted. It's about 70 in the greenhouses right now, and that's not because we have the heat turned on. It's just from the natural sunlight. And I was guessing at 70. And look at here, I just came across the temperature readers, and it's 70 and 72. Hey, if you're local in the area and you're looking for a job, Garden Crossings is now hiring for the season. So if you love to work around plants and get your hands dirty, be in the sunshine even when it's like freezing cold outside, this might be a perfect job for you. So Jen's our inventory manager, and she's going to receive these plants as they get brought in off the truck. She's got her packing list there, and she'll just go through the carts and check off all the different varieties, make sure that we got the correct varieties in, along with a correct number of trays that they said that we were going to be receiving. Ben's pulling another load in here for us. So let's take a little bit closer look at what they're bringing in. So this is the fiber optic grass. Actually, no, it's not. It's a blue mohawk. Nice looking plugs there. You've got Prince Tut on order. This is what it looks like when it comes in. Lantana. This one here is the Bananarama. Ooh, a little bit of marmalade showing there. The begonias, double ups, they're all kind of giving us a little show. We've got double up white and double up red, double up pink. Here we've got the Primrose Begonia. Beautiful, beautiful little specimens here. You can see this is a little bit different size. So some of the annuals come a little bit different sizes. We're going to look at a petunia tray. Let me actually walk on the other side. So when they grow petunias, they grow them kind of like all the cells together. And then as they get bigger, they separate them so that they have some more space. Same is true of super bells. So if you look here, you can see all the little holes. That's because one tray fits inside of another. And then as the plants grow, they pull them apart. That way each plug has adequate space to grow and fill out. Super Bell's yellow right there. Geraniums are looking gorgeous. Love all the different colors of geraniums. Here's some more petunias. Let's see here. Sometimes it's hard to tell what they are when they get cold. Here's really red. This is what the Petunia Plugs look like when they come in. A nice large plant. This is Royal Magenta. Here's some Super Beanas. Nicely rooted. It's also something that you look for, is a nice quality rooted plug. The more roots, the better off they're going to start off for you. Sometimes we'll get them in and they're lightly rooted, and that just means they're going to take a little bit longer to get started. But with these nicely heavily rooted plugs, these are going to be off to a great start. So we're excited. We're going to be planting these up today. I'll try to get some video once the lines get rolling. This is pretty exciting that this color all has shown up. So we're eager for this afternoon when we can start planting. And I'll be showing you that process next. So annual planting has begun. We planted up hanging baskets last week. And basically these are all the plugs that are kind of left over from the hanging baskets. So these are all getting planted up today. So as we head down to the planting line, we'll show you what's going on. We have the pots all pre-filled. So you saw that in the earlier videos of us stickering and filling all the pots. So here's some more plugs. These are begonias, some other things too, but mostly begonias. So they grab the plants, then they go and find the tags that go along with the plants. And then they get walked on down here to the planting line. So on the planting line, for some of the varieties, they'll pre-pull all the plugs out of the little cells. That way they're just easier to plant. So that's what you see here in this crate. The trays get sent down the line. We verify that the sticker on the pot is indeed the plants that they are planting up. So here she's planting up begonias. So there's one gal on one side planting her side of the begonias, and then somebody else on the other side planting those. And then when they get down here to the end, there's somebody sticking all the tags in. Once the tags are all put in, they then get set down here in the greenhouse. So there's constant movement going on here on the planting line. And by the end of the day, their hands are certainly tired, and our floors are full of beautiful annuals that should be ready the end of March, beginning of April. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings.